What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So, Deontay Wilder took a little visit to the slammer late last night, and he had a 9mm gun, had some weed in the car, and basically, now what was said is that was a routine stop. Said that you couldn't, the plates were kind of, you know, maybe too much covering on the plates. They couldn't read the plates properly, or whatever it may have been. But then they smelled a strong smell of weed. Now he was in Los Angeles. And of course, people would have a lot of questions and things and wanting to know. Now, I'm only explaining this part because I don't want to make it sound like he was out here doing, participating in some criminal activity, or like he must have did something really. So basically, that's what he got arrested for, was the possession of a weapon. Now, what I will say, if you are in a state where weed is legal and you are aware of that, you should also make sure that you are in a state where you can carry your firearms. Okay? And at the end of the day, you have some people that they'll have it, and then some people have a license to carry. It's, different things, and in different states, people are, they handle the laws differently. Now, the good thing about it is it didn't turn into a Rodney King situation. Didn't end up, with could have went left. Put it like that. Just things happen, especially something like that. But for Wilder, I don't know. This generation is more into smoking weed. We had the Burt Coopers that was drinking constantly back in the day, the Ray Mercers and all that. They, same things. But I don't know. I definitely wouldn't advise athletes. I don't do that shit. I'm clean. I've always been my whole life, so I don't do any of that shit. But I definitely wouldn't advise athletes to do it. It is what it is. They're all grown ass men. They do what they do. So, but then the thing, so for me, speaking for myself, that is what it is. Now with the fight with Anthony, the rumored fight, okay, with Anthony Joshua, from what I'm hearing is that there's negotiations that's still going on. So it's not signed, sealed, and delivered. And I've, heard a lot of people. There's a lot of channels saying the fight's on, it's guaranteed, it's definite, and that's not what I heard. So I don't like to report something as if it's solid and it's not. Now, does this become a misdemeanor situation? Does something happen where it interferes with the fight itself? We don't know. Now, for the fact that nothing escalated, and Wilder's, he's good in this situation. He basically, said he got locked up like one something in the morning, was out by like 6 something in the morning, was bailed out. But just saying, we don't know if whether this situation happened or not. If there's actually gonna be the fight between AJ and Wilder. So I haven't heard much of anything from Wilder's side as far as the fight, and as far as Anthony Joshua, that he kind of said things in a way on purpose where it's like just to mess with your mind, to make you think it must be something going on, that they're trying to put this fight together. I haven't heard a guarantee, yes, the fight's happening, it's going to be in such and such date. Now, we just heard that Anthony Joshua, okay, I heard that his next fight was supposed to be scheduled for December. But then it just so happens that now they're saying it's possibly with Wilder. Now, if you're going to build up to that, I believe that Anthony Joshua had the date open that he wants to get back in the ring in December. Otherwise, if this was the negotiation from the beginning, then it would have been Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder this December. That's what you would have heard first, not just Anthony Joshua is planning on coming back to the ring in December. And also, watch the video where it's said that the Zone is telling Anthony Joshua, nah, we need you to get in the ring before December. Which I'm like, how the fuck the Zone gonna tell him? Okay. Alright. So that sound kind of shaky. So that was basically this video where when I watched it, the guy was capping. The guy was just making a video just to make a video. Nothing he said was solid or even made sense. And if Deontay Wilder was the opponent for December, when for Anthony Joshua, I get it, for him to wait that long, okay. And people saying, but then why would he wait all that long time to get back in the ring? He's gonna be rusty. No, he's gonna be training. I mean, he's gonna be rusty. They're getting rounds in their sparring. I never. It's like it's just locked in people's head to say, oh, ring rust. You're sparring for rounds. You're sparring different competition. You have different sparring partners. You're in there putting the work in. I don't know. I just think that people's minds are just more fragile nowadays. Because all of this, it's like Anthony Joshua hasn't been consistent with being in the ring for a while now. And, Deontay Wilder, does it matter if it was Deontay Wilder or if it was another elite guy, however, whatever? December is December. And you know that Anthony Joshua don't want to have a fight just to have a fight. So if he's going to fight before December, and if the idea is for him to spend as much time with Derrick James as possible, okay, like, people talking about Roy Jones saying he don't think he should fight Wilder now, he's not ready, and that, yeah, he should spend more time with Derrick James. Well, look, first off, let me say this. I hear a lot of shit about Deontay's this, Deontay's that. Let's get something fucking clear, all right? Let's get one thing straight. Stop fucking talking like Anthony, like Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury was having a slugfest going back and forth, and Fury just pulled it off. Fury was dominating, okay? He was winning those fucking fights, okay? They gifted Wilder that draw in the first fight, all right? Second and third, we already know. All of a sudden, allegations came up that, oh, he cheated. Even most recently, Wilder claimed Fury cheated in all 3 fights. So my point is, after Fury had that long layoff, came back, fought 2 meatballs, jumped in there, after they cherry-picked each other, okay? My point is this. Wilder got his ass kicked in his second and third fights. The only thing that happened was Wilder managed to knock Fury down in these fights. Okay? He managed to get 4 knockdowns all together in the 3 fights that they had. Okay? But let's get this straight. It was not like it was some slugfest going back and forth. He was getting his ass kicked. And the only rounds he won was the rounds he got the knockdowns in. And, because he knocked Fury down 2 times in the first fight, they called that shit a draw. Okay, whatever. But bottom line, you're making Wilder sound like he's some really skilled, high ring IQ, savvy fighter. No, he's a one-dimensional, one-trick pony that the things that works for him, who is Wilder going to outbox that really knows how to box? So, if anything, Wilder is coming for the KO. And for the most part, you can say, well, AJ hasn't shown that killer instinct. Okay? So if you're going to say that about Wilder, then you got to say he shouldn't fight Dubois or anybody, not even Efe, anybody that can fucking punch that's going to try to knock him out, for that matter. Because Deontay Wilder is not a better boxer than none of those guys. So, if you're going to yell, this guy shouldn't do this and that. Look, Roy Jones was asked if he could do anything different about his career. What would he do different? As far as the fights and the opponents, he said he wouldn't do nothing different because everything that happened, God's plan. I didn't plan nothing. God planned this and all this long bullshit that you know how Roy Jones do when you ask him a question and he start talking all this God and whatever. So basically, when he lost his first fight to Tarver, okay, when he lost that fight to Tarver, we know the Montel Griffin situation was bullshit, but when he lost to Tarver, okay, in that second fight that they had, and he lost to Glenn Johnson, all right, Roy Jones is always talking about fighting the best. Win, lose, or draw, you got to get in there and prove yourself. What changed about Roy Jones? Okay, let's say this. Let's use our common sense. What was different about Roy Jones from Tarver 2 to Glenn Johnson to Tarver 3? What was different? It was the same. It was the lesser version of Roy Jones. Roy Jones was what, 36, 37 at the time. He's 36 and he lost. So by the time he fought Tarvin the rematch, he must have been about, well, in third fight, yeah, it must have been about 37, something like that. Okay, whatever. 36, 37, whatever, about 37. So bottom line is, and Anthony Joshua's 33 now. So neither one of these guys were like in their 20s. And okay, my point is, he's always talking about how the best got to fight the best. You got to prove yourself. Roy Jones also said the same thing I said, which was, it doesn't make sense for Anthony Joshua to jump in there with somebody if he hasn't improved. The thing with Anthony Joshua, he says all of the wrong shit a lot of times. Or he says it in a way where it makes, like, it's like his confidence, we already know the deal with that. But for Anthony Joshua, for any of these guys who want to have their names amongst the elite, they want to prove that they still belong here. You don't have forever. You don't have forever. My thing is, the same way everybody's talking about the right hand, Anthony Joshua can knock Wilder out as well. And if you look at everything that you brag about Wilder, and this is not bashing the dude, this is just being straight up real and speaking facts about this shit. Nothing that he has done in the ring has been against a great opponent where he can say he won. He just managed to score some knockdowns against Fury, who has his flaws as well, but people talk like this dude is just perfect. He makes no mistakes, which is bullshit. He's the closest thing that you've seen to perfection. Yeah, okay, whatever. So my whole thing is, in those fights, we saw Wilder just do the same thing. All this talk, changing trainers, Malik Scott, you're going to see a different Wilder. Oh, I'm going back to the basics. Oh, he's just doing stuff that he already been doing. You don't win a bronze medal and you don't know how to box it. And all these, and what did you see? All he managed to do different in the third fight was come out and start out throwing some jabs to the body. That was it. But the same Wilder. The same old, let me resort to these windmill punches. Let me just lay back and jab. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. He's just as lost in the ring as AJ is. The only difference between the two of them is Wilder will try to knock you out. And that's really it. In terms of what he does, he's not a skillful fighter. Anthony Joshua does put his shots together better than Wilder when he decides to let his hands go. So if it's a confidence thing, no. I don't think that it's wise for any fighter to be rushing anything. So if that would be the fight in December, you know, it's already, what is it now? It's we're in May. Okay? He has more than enough time to get in that gym, and it's not like the day you hear something, this is the day I start training. He's already in the gym. He's already working with Derek James. He's doing what he has to do. So at the end of the day, these are the fights that we want to see. So let's stop making up stupid ass excuses as to why the fight shouldn't happen. Because then when the fight doesn't happen, now you want to play that it's his fault. So we don't know what's going to happen with this. If this situation with Wilder, and if it's going to be a court situation that can interfere with the fight, don't know. Only thing we can do is wait and see how things go and what happens. But if that fight is going to actually ever materialize, well, when? If not now, when? AJ's about to be 34, Wilder's 37. So, I mean, what do you guys want to wait for? You bitched and complained about how long it took Manny Pacquiao and Floyd to fight. We got the Charlos and all these different guys walking around here 33, 34, still ain't fucking got the fights that they actually wanted to fight. Still just going back and forth on Twitter, Instagram, and all this, Facebook. But so if this is going to be the fight, no, I don't think any fighter should be rushed into anything. But this isn't about rushing. And if AJ don't have his shit together and he gets knocked the fuck out, so be it. Okay, AJ's been fighting for a while now. He's not a fucking baby. He's not some new jack. Not some newcomer. Not some Johnny come lately. He's been here for a minute, okay? If Deontay Wilder don't have his shit together and he goes and gets knocked the fuck out, so be it. You know what it's called? The better man won. That's all. So stop crossing your fingers, hoping that Anthony Joshua's going to come out and it's going to be like, who is that guy? No, they're trying to tweak things and trying to get into his head, to his psyche, to get him to understand what he needs to do and to get his confidence up. This is not about AJ's going to be a brand new, completely different fighter. No, that's not what this is. Now, if he can put things together and trust in his skill, like you always hear him saying, you have to trust the process, right? If he learns to trust his own process, then, we'll see how things go. I remember one time Anthony Joshua was being interviewed, and I forgot the question a woman asked him about getting hit or something, but he said it's kind of fun, actually, because it's like, okay, you take the guy's shots, and you're like, all right, now let's see if you can take mine. Yeah, that Anthony Joshua, that confident Anthony Joshua, that Anthony Joshua that wasn't afraid to get hit. And it's not about being afraid to get hit. It's more about he's trying to be cautious. He wants to be a complete boxer. He said he wants to be that boxer puncher. That's what he was. He was a boxer puncher. And for AJ, I mean, what do you guys think? Is going to take him 2, 3, 4 years or something? No, he needs to make what he needs to happen. He needs to make it happen now. And again, not by rushing into a fight, but he needs to start to understand and absorb everything now, while he's training, while he's working with Derrick James. He needs to get this shit going, because it's only going to work against you the more time goes by and you're moving along slowly. Because when Father Time decides to knock on your door and tap you on the shoulder, you can be thinking, I need more time. Time is what you may not have. So, we're not walking people holding their hand, putting a freaking pacifier in these grown-ass men's mouth, acting like they're babies, man. Like, what's going to happen is going to happen. So, everybody been wanting this fight. It's not like, he's being rushed into anything. It's the simple fact that when you hear something, you automatically want it to be true. And so you start creating these scenarios in your head of what should and what shouldn't happen and how this guy should do this and this. But, hey, only thing we can do is wait and see what's going to go down as far as Wilder's situation. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm not sitting here glued with my eyes glued to my computer or my phone waiting to see. I'll bring you guys the boxing news. I keep my ears to the streets. We hear what's going on. We see what's going on, and then we talk about it. And that's all it's going to be. AJ don't have all the time in the world either. Before you know it, he'll be 37. And it's like, then what? You want to wait for him to become 37 and then Wilder like 40? Then what? So, anyway. Fortunately, Wilder's situation worked out. As I said, he's not, nothing escalated. There was no blows thrown. There was no police brutality. There was no him resisting arrest and thing blowing up. And I don't like getting into domestic stuff and whatever. But for me to make a video and talk about him versus AJ and then not really mention, just the situation, the fact that he had a little situation that could possibly delay, or interfere with that fight because of or however. But this is something that's all over. But like, I definitely don't do no, domestic and, like I said, trying to really get in people's personal lives, But anyway, it is what it is. Talk to me in the comment section. What y'all think about this potential fight with him and Anthony Joshua? Does it finally get done? Or is this going to be another situation of, it sounds like everything is on point, and then all of a sudden, guess what? No AJ Wilder. Let me know. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all in the next video.